Okay, it couldn't be any more obvious. This is the finish up here for the regular season, and we've got to get this game done. We've got to get what we need to get done here to have a chance to keep rolling. It ain't about really what's down the road. It's this game right now, right this time, and we've got to do some things better than we did. And we've had some times where we've been okay, but we got to get better. And so you wonder, how can you get better in a week? Well, watch. We're going to do that, and we're going to change a little bit of how this thing happened in last week, and I'm anxious to see it come together. So it's always on this day is about back to basics and the fundamentals and doing the little things right. And so we got to capture this day and make sure it's a good one for us.
When you went back and watched the film with the run defense, was it beyond just the tackling issues, or was that primarily it?
There were some opportunities in executing better up front that we didn't get done. That means you got blocked once in a while. But we had 5 missed tackles on one play. And so that was an ugly memory in all of our minds. And we did way better in the second half than we did in the first half. So we know that it's there. So we just got to make sure we capture it early and make sure we come out of the chutes better than we have.
Is missing tackles an effort thing or a fundamental thing, or what is it?
No. To me, it's fundamentals always. It's always getting your feet in the right position, making sure your head's in the right spot, so it's out of the way, and shoulder hitting it the way we want to, and that's why I know we can do better. I know we can play better. So we happen to be going against a running back that's I think leading the NFL in yards after contact. So the challenge with James Conner is as big as he can get, and so we got to do a great job.
What has Arizona shown you with that run game in recent weeks? Just all the yards.
Yeah, it's the threat of the quarterback is always part of it. He's rushed for over 200 yards in his 7 games back. So he's getting 30, 40 yards a game, something like that, and that factor does add in. And so we've got to make sure and try to keep Kyler somehow in control, which is almost impossible because he's just so elusive and so fast. But we have our ways we're going to go about it in the plan, and got to see if we can keep him under control. And obviously we got to execute really well in the running game because James is going to get the ball a bunch in this one too.
When it comes to Kyler, you didn't see him in the first matchup this season. Does he look the way that you would expect after that year of recovery?
Yeah, he looks really good. It's interesting how close the numbers are between when Dobbs was playing and when Kyler's playing. They're getting, they've got 3 wins in the last 7, so that's a little bit different. But their numbers are very similar, and the attack hasn't changed. It's just the style of the athlete, and there's nobody like Kyler. He's an unusually unique player with his speed and his quickness and his style, and he poses a ton of problems.
The changes you say you're going to make, I don't expect you to say what the changes are, but
Thanks.
Are they new, or are they things you've gone back, you're going to go back to?
No, there's some things when you're talking about basics and fundamentals, you're going back to where we were in camp. Sometimes technique deteriorates somewhat during the season, and it looked like that kind of happened to us. We weren't as good fundamentally as we need to be, and it showed up. We've got a lot of young guys. I know I can keep working with these guys and keep helping them see how they can do things. Because we did them right in the second half, so we can do them right in the first half. So we need to recapture that.
In playing good run defense and technique, how much does the discipline of each player, I think you've mentioned this, as part of it, so that the people in the back can trust that and continue?
It's a really good point, and it's playing defense in the running game is really about relative spacing, and that's making sure the guys stay in the right gaps and they stay on the right edge of the blocks, and that's part of it is the discipline of the technique of it, and then you got to be physical enough to maintain, otherwise you get knocked off the ball or knocked out of your way. But it is about staying connected to the guy next to you, and that's something that we just need to continue to stay with it, and we got to find it, and we got to find it this week, and make sure that we have a lot better outing than we did.
They were able to hit, I think, 5 explosives in the pass game. Where did you feel
6, I think it was 6.
Where did you feel like breakdowns were?
Yeah, they hit 2 big corner routes on us, to 14, and then there was a big crossing route in the game. Those were really the 3 big plays I thought that were the impact plays that really changed the field position, and that's what we had eliminated the 2 weeks prior to that. I think we had 3 combined in those 2 previous games. So those plays changed the field position. So when you run the football now, you can stay with it, and so they were fundamental stuff. The one great catch that Pickens makes, that's just a phenomenal play. But the other corner route is one that we could play in the crosser. We certainly have our ways to play that one too. So They had run the ball pretty well, and a couple play passes got us. And that doesn't need to connect, but it did in this instance.
Does Jordan Brooks have a chance to get back?
Yes, yeah, he went through the walkthrough. He looked pretty good running around.
How's Evan Brown?
He got through the walkthrough today. That he got the release to do that, so that's a really good sign that he can progress through the week. He won't get practice reps today, but I think this allows him to get them tomorrow. So if everything continues to progress, so we're in pretty good shape.
How did Olu do?
He did fine. He did fine. He held up his end, and we've got a real good 1-2 punch right there. He did a nice job in the game.
What about
You expect Jordan to practice?
Yeah, he's going to get some more. I'm hoping they'll see him and let him go more. We'll see how it goes.
Abe Lucas? What's his situation?
Abe's knees really bother him, and it's going to be hard for Abe. He's not. We don't have any designations on it yet, but he just couldn't find the power. He just got worn down a little bit in the time he's played over the last month, and he couldn't find it in this game, and so we had to get him out of there.
Phil Haynes being designated to return, is that a possibility?
Yes, it is. And Phil's going to practice today and get some work, and we'll just see what happens. It's his first week back. He's done a lot of work with the trainers and strength and conditioning, but we got to see how he does. So, but it's positive. I know he's very upbeat about wanting to be part of this week.
Well, with Abe, when you say it's going to be hard, you mean to come back this week or
Yes,
come back at all?
to come back this week at least. I'm just looking at that right now. It's only about this week.
Do you anticipate Jason Peters being available?
I don't think he's going to be able to make it back either. He won't be able to practice today.
When you look at that Arizona defense, I think some of the numbers are a little bit deceiving, but what has Zayvon Collins done?
No, he's really good. Yeah, he's really good. Gardeck is really good too, and it's really, you can't help but just be attracted to watching Buddha. Buddha's really featured in the scheme, and he's all over the place, and he's always been such an exciting player to watch. I've loved his style of play over the years, but they, more so than any time we've ever played a defense, this scheme is really highlighting him in so many different ways. So, but Collins is doing good. He and Gardeck, I think they're sharing 10 sacks between them or whatever, and they move them around and count on there. They're real energy, motor, aggressive kids that really give them something in a special manner.
Last year, Week 18, you guys took care of business and then had a chance to watch the Packers this year with games going on at the same time. Is there any scoreboard watching at all during this game?
No, I'm not going to be watching it. We'll see what they do about putting it on the board, depending on what's going on. It doesn't matter. That doesn't matter to us right now. We'll have plenty of time to find out what happened.
On the radio, you kind of mentioned that you thought the emphasis on eliminating the explosives maybe got in guys' heads and negatively impacted.
Yeah, I'm just giving it a way that I can try to explain it to you, because I really did harp on staying on top of the goal balls that they had hit in the week before, and I wanted to eliminate those. We did that, but it didn't. I don't know. It might have been too much emphasis. I'm just looking to critique. Maybe that was a way that it got.
That's kind of what I was asking. Was that based on combos with guys, or just kind of a hunch or a theory?
Yes, it's a theory on my part. Yeah, you can call it a hunch if you want.
Your running game on offense, what do you feel like, I guess, needs to
Just
happen
more.
with that?
We were efficient. We had a good average. We had line of scrimmage moving like we liked. We just need more. We need to use our opportunities. We need to use the conversions, and I keep going back to that, because we just need to keep moving the sticks so that we get our more chances, because we ran the ball well, and Kenny looked really good. Zach hit a couple, but Kenny was really on it on this game. So hopefully we can pick up where we left off.
Is he okay, or?
Yes, and he looked very good today. So he looked much better than he did Wednesday last week. In this walkthrough here, he was flying around pretty good. So it's a really good sign.
You said that Kenny was looking really good. Was it the vision? Was it the way that blocks were timed up a little bit differently? Was it the way he was hitting the hole?
If you give him space, he looks good. And we spaced it out pretty well. The scheme up front, our blocks were well handled. He had the kind of room that he needs to do his thing. And the touchdown run was almost a perfect play. Blocked and run and all of that. Kenny's he's got it in to make big plays out of opportunities, and so we just have to keep creating for him.
With Abe, does something else need to be done this week, or just the rest?
I don't know that. I don't know what I don't know. But he's come back from a sore knee, and after I don't know how many games it's been, maybe a month or something of games, it's kind of gotten sore again. And so I don't have the answer for you right there, because I'm not exactly sure which direction we go with that. But if you can't get back, then soon we'll get into the depths of what needs to be done. I don't have the answer for you.
Where's sort of the psyche of the team, do you feel like, right now? Given
I'm challenging the heck out of them to finish this thing. And I really didn't listen today. I was pretty much pushing it to, we got to get ready to get going, have a great Wednesday, and that's all that's important right now. So I can't imagine that they're not totally on board to get this thing done, to get this win, and see where it leaves us.
Big picture, Pete, what's been the most challenging aspect of coaching these guys and trying to get some consistency?
Yeah, I think I really do feel like our youth shows up, and that's a positive moving forward. And as we look to the future, you can see the future of this club, and it can go places and do stuff. And but it has at time, we're not reacting as consistently as we'd like to. We see really bright spots, and then it maybe doesn't resurface. That's just we haven't solidified, the mentality of our guys in terms of them being NFL players. We got a lot of guys that just came out of college in the last couple of years, and I think that's a real positive. But it's frustrating as heck right now, because we're not getting all that we need to get on a consistent basis, and it's going to happen. It's there, and that's why we've been so positive about it, because you can see it. But we still got to go out and do it. And when we got in the middle of the schedule against the really top teams, we were not quite able to get over the hump of those guys. We come back and we get going again. We took a step back last week, and we just didn't keep moving forward. And so that's one way of looking at it. And I don't know if that's the answer to it, but it feels like that. And you can kind of tell by the kinds of missed opportunities and the errors that we might make, that it's just youth, and it's just not quite living together like you need to really be connected in the way that will happen in the future, I believe.
Because of that youth, does this feel like a job undone for you going into the future?
There's a lot. Yeah, we have a lot of work to do. Yeah, we have a lot of work to do, but the outlook for the future is very positive, because of the makeup of the guys, the way they want to work, the way they go about it. They just need to be trained, and it needs to come back another year where you see all those guys that make that jump from year 1 to year 2, and then we'd be from year 2 to year 3. There's going to be a real positive movement for our club.
Has it been hard with this? There's been a lot of moving parts in the secondary the last few weeks with injuries and stuff like that. Has it been hard for those guys, the continuity back there?
I don't think that's hurt us, though. I think we've kept it competitive to keep guys playing and trying to keep them at their best and progress. Make progress, not just be status quo. Julian's had a big influence, in the last month. He's played some great football and made a lot of plays, and I think he and Q have really settled, that situation. It was hard when we had Jamal coming in, and we're working different combinations of things. That's settled down a little bit. But I think the corners in general are doing pretty good. But we didn't tackle well at all last week, and was really inconsistent. So that's a step that we need to come back to and make sure we make that progress.
In March, when you signed Julian, you kind of described it as like he's just too good of a player available. Even maybe people didn't see the fit there. Just now that he's playing the way he is, what have you seen out of him relative to what you thought you were getting back then?
His consistency to be available for the plays, the playmaking, it's there. He's talented. He sees things. He reacts really well. He's got really quick feet. He's really nimble, and he can get in and out of his breaks and come out of the middle and come out of his halves and stuff and cover a ton of ground. And he's really responsible about making the plays that he should make in the running game. So he's a really good all-around ball player, and we see it carry over as he impacts the special teams group too. He's always doing things right. He's making calls. He's making tackles. He's just a really good football player. And I think probably he's better than we thought, and he's more complete than we thought.
How did Devin Witherspoon make that the game?
Well, yeah, he's running around today, and I'm really excited that he's going to have a normal week, and his mind is ready. He knows he can play, and he's ready to get back. So he's in good shape.
Do you anticipate him being back to every down?
We'll wait and see on that one. Sorry.
What do you think of the Devin Bush?
Shoot, he had a ton of tackles. He's on a lot of hits. We had him for 17 or something like that, and I thought he played a good, solid football game for the first time, really playing all of that and having all that responsibility. He'll play faster. He'll make more hits on closer to the line of scrimmage. We downfield a little bit, but I thought he did a nice job.
Just to clarify with Jamal, I mean, do you know, like, would he need more work done? In the
It's just time.
offseason?
It's just time for the healing to take place with the conditioning and the training to get him back to normal. You know, he wasn't quite there, but he was good enough to go for it. And with the heart that he had and brought to it, you know, we went with it the whole way and hoped that we could get over the hump. And then he might even get better during the season with our training, but it didn't happen that way. He kind of stayed the same and wasn't able to take a step forward. So just after a while, we just had to take care of him.
What do you thought of the edge play in the week since you've lost Chen?
It's hard to replace Chenna now. Chenna's a really good football player, and he plays a little bit different than our other guys. You know, the other guys are kind of young and spry and quick and all that. He is solid as a rock, and he still moves well and all that. But the other guys are a little bit more shifty and kind of on the edge and that. Chenna's going to take you right down the middle, and he can knock the hell out of you, and then he can make you miss too. And he just plays really strong, and we miss that. We really miss that, and it's unfortunate.
Bobby's up to 168 tackles, I think, third most in his career. Just obviously you brought him back for a reason, but what has he given you?
You know, when I know I've been asked that because it's such an interesting guy that to keep track of. I mean, he's had a fantastic season coming back to us in his leadership, and the example that he sets for other guys is, I mean, he doesn't have to say much. He just does everything well and right. And the fact that he's had a productive year and he's making his plays and making a ton of tackles again, and his durability again, which is just so remarkable throughout his career, is just a statement of his overall conditioning and development and maintenance of you know, all that it takes to do that. It's incredible that he's played this much and continued 160-something tackles. That's amazing. So he's done everything we could have hoped for, I think.
You plan on him being back?
I would think yes. We'd love to have him. Already banged his knee, and but I think he's in pretty good shape. He's got a chance to get back.
Anything else?
Thank you.